Good morning, Aziel. Good morning, everyone. I would now request Roy to begin with the opening prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Let's just a small prayer, keep our eyes closed for a second. We just thank God for the grace and to get the ethics from this webinar to keep a positive outlook and the blessings from the Almighty on all of us. We ask this to God. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Over to Amrita to introduce Aziel.
Hello, and a very good morning to all the members and guests for this webinar. I, Amrita Pinto, take immense pleasure in introducing our speaker at today's webinar, who is Aziel Fiona Marques. She is a passionate educationist at core. Aziel has completed her Masters of Home Science Branch 2, Human Development 2010 from the University of Mumbai, Design Thinking for Innovation from University of Virginia through Coursera in 2020, Iron Lady Leadership Essentials Program in collaboration with TISS in 2020. She's managing ADHD, autism, learning disabilities, and concussion in school through Coursera in 2020, and strategic management and innovation for Copenhagen Business School through Coursera in 2020. She has been awarded Global Woman Leader in 2024, presented by the World Women Leadership Congress and Awards, Best Young Principal Award below 40 years by GSR in 2020, Rex Karamveer Global Fellowship instituted by iCongo and the United Nations in 2023, and exemplary commitment to upholding human rights and social values in field of education by the Central Mumbai Fellowship in 2022. Aziel is the founder of GPS for Parents, which is an educational venture with the vision to create happy parents equal to happy children, happy parents plus happy children equal to happy society. Her professional expertise includes subject matter expertise and authoring course books for children from age group 5 to 7, and even developing digital-based curriculum to ensure optimal output for learning management systems, website, and app-based for Rustam Kerawala Foundation. She has also initiated specialized phonics program for Podar Education Network. Aziel is connected with several government bodies such as SSA, SCERT, DIET, NIPCCD, WCD. We extend a warm welcome to you, Aziel, and all the very best for your webinar today. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrita. Aziel, over to you.
Thank you so much, and humbled by the introduction. So namaste and warm welcome to today's session. Before I begin, I would like to thank Dimensions and all those who have worked behind the scenes to ensure that today's webinar gets going, and all dear participants for joining in. Thank you so much for coming in on a Saturday early morning. Right? So let me share my screen and we'll proceed from there. Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
So the screen has mainly the poster, right, of today's session. And what is it? It's about the ABCs of entrepreneurship. But before we try to understand what is that A, B, and C, let us first understand what is entrepreneurship, right? So what is the difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur? Any guesses? You all can use the chat or unmute and talk, either of which. Is there a difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur, or are they the same? Unfortunately, I'm not able to see the chats. Okay. You all can unmute and say, any guesses? What do you think? Many are from the field of entrepreneurship and business, right, over here. Some are thinking of getting into it. So what is it? Yes, there is a difference, Gracie mentions. So let me take you, since I am from the education field, I'll give you an example of who's a business owner and who is an entrepreneur in the education world. So you take any school, most of the school, right? It is started by a hotelier, a politician, uh, a builder. So they're mainly from a different profession, but they have lots of money, either in black, pink, blue, green, whichever color, and they want to turn it into white. And so a school becomes a good option for them. Plus, school, they are assured, there's an assured return that you will get a good income. Because every child requires a school. So obviously, a parent will go to a school. And the moment they see a school which has a good infrastructure, good furnitures, they will take admission for their child. Isn't it? Like we have taken for our children, right? Going to schools, seeing if all things are good and glory, looks beautiful. Each of this school will also have a marketing team, a PR team, a sales team to ensure the admissions are bang on, because admissions is equal to profit. Admissions is equal to money. In the same school, they will also force a principal and teachers to focus on the admission numbers. So forget about the teacher learning about new teaching skills, pedagogies. The teacher and the principal, most of their mind goes into filling the seats in the school. Because the ultimate goal of a business owner is to ensure profits by hook or crook. This is about a business owner. Now coming to an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, the main focus of an entrepreneur is how can I create an impact in the life of my child, of children that I'm catering to, or a learner or a stakeholder. As a result of the impact being created, money, profits are an outcome to it. So business owner, the focus is on profit, whereas entrepreneur, the focus is on creating a positive impact and changing the life for better of those who they think they want to cater to. This is a bare minimum differentiation between business owner and entrepreneur. Coming to the next part is just trying to change my slide. Okay, yeah. So coming to the first point of assess oneself, right? So during COVID time, whenever a child was born, if you go back 3-4 years back, when COVID hit the countries, whenever a child was born, we would say a COVID baby is born. Not because the child has got COVID or something. I hope and pray that no child or anyone gets COVID and they are all in best of health. Just because they were born during that phase, during that period of COVID, it is termed as COVID baby. I am not a COVID baby, but my venture is a COVID baby. So I started my venture during the COVID time. And now taking you much before that of where was I born, what did I do, and how did I get into entrepreneurship. I am born and raised in a family filled with educators and advocates, professionals, mainly advocates. So the main focus for us will always be study hard, get good marks, go to good colleges, and then join some good companies, earn a steady income, put that income in the bank, into the saving bank, into the saving. That was the only form of investment that we really knew. And that's it. Just give all your best to the company. How many of you all can relate to this scenario? That where, yeah, quite a few, right? So I spent almost 10 years working for the best of uh, most renowned schools and educational organizations in Mumbai, in north of India, south of India, Madhya Pradesh, West India. The only region that was left was east of India. So I have a diverse kind of experience right from the elite school to the Anganwadis and Balwadis, the municipal schools. From our heart, we always believe that whatever we do, we have to do for the best of the children that we cater to, for the best of our stakeholders. In a school, another stakeholder is also a teacher. So we have to kind of conduct trainings for them, ensure they're skilled. And fortunately, I will be always the youngest in the teams and heading those teams of curriculum developments and trainings, getting a good lucrative salary even at a very young age as compared to my counterparts, regardless whichever location I was in. But ultimately, that focus will always be that how many admissions do you get? What coaxes the teachers and the principal to get more admissions instead of focusing on making them better educators. And that's where it hit me that what am I really doing? Is it just for money that I have to continue working? And obviously, it's stable life, it's comfortable life. No issues of the unpredictable world that entrepreneurship gets us into. Or do I want to get into a life which is much more fulfilling and makes me think, yes, I'm doing something for the betterment of children. And that's where I shifted on from uh, this life that I was. So life of a person normally when we struggling with multiple things, right? Then ensuring that the balls are always in the sky, we are holding it well. And then coming to a life of entrepreneurship. And let me know if you all can connect with this as well. That's not that right happening somewhere and everything impacts our life, right? So this is the reality of getting into a world of entrepreneurship where when you think that you want to get into a fulfilling life. However, whatever said, I still love this entrepreneurship journey, however crazy it may be, however sleepless nights I may have. Maybe my bank doesn't have that kind of a balance, but at the end of the day, it's a fulfilling life that I am living through this journey. So what is entrepreneurship? During COVID, the family system is what I saw was crumbling. Parents were not able to connect with their child, engage their child, support, and forget about supporting, they could not even talk to their own child. And that's when I decided that there's something really going on wrong in our family system. And we need to empower parents so that they have the right knowledge system, the right skill set to connect with their child once again. So that the parent has a fulfilling, happy parenting journey, whereas the child cherishes their childhood. And that's how I came up with GPS for parents. So the first thing as an entrepreneur is to always reflect and see, is my venture creating a change, a positive change in the society? If yes, then you are a change maker. Every entrepreneur is meant to be a change maker, be it in the field of education, climate, whatever said and done, whichever field you are in. Are you creating a positive change, or is it the money that is a driving force for you? What is it? Second, being determined. So being the first generation entrepreneur in my family, I had absolutely no experience. as an entrepreneur. I just jumped into it without any theoretical knowledge. I never attended any session on entrepreneurship before that. I had absolutely no knowledge about entrepreneurship. So that made me realize that along with the learning about education, about parenting, the courses that I try to keep upgrading myself with respect to my field knowledge. But it also helped me realize that as an entrepreneur, I need to know who is an entrepreneur, what is an entrepreneur's life, uh, what are the steps in the world of entrepreneurship to ensure a successful venture. And that's how I enrolled in both theoretical courses, plus made my hands and myself muddy in while going to business meets and getting acquainted with the world of business and ventures. And trust me, it wasn't easy for a person who's totally into education to go in the world of business and just hear all the pitches and all talks related to money. So it was difficult, but as an entrepreneur, we have to keep learning about what is a business model that I can follow, what is the pricing aspect, how can I communicate certain things to my stakeholders, and multiple aspects of different pillars of a venture. So I ensured that I had both my upgradation of my subject knowledge plus entrepreneurship going hand in hand. I will watch a lot of this is almost 3-4 years back, before even Shark Tank India began. I will watch Shark Tank Australia, Dragon Den, which is a European concept of Shark Tank, and they're great steps for an entrepreneur who wants to start the entrepreneurial journey. So yes, I kept doing more and more with the purpose, with the focus that I have to create an impact. If I have to create an impact in children's life, in the life of schools and parents, then I have to learn the nicks and trades of a business as well. Coming to problem solver, it's fun to be me. And I love, and that's why I think that's the best part of being an entrepreneur. You get to be yourself. You get to do things that you feel that is right for the society. And entrepreneur loves to solve problems. Rather, an entrepreneur is always surrounded by problems. So it has no other option and the only option left with them is either succumb or find solutions to it. So, and I love finding solutions like, how can I help parent to reconnect with their child, especially when children lock themselves in the room and play games all day in. About critical thinker, when I said yes, I will begin my entrepreneurial journey, I started with a 5-day parent masterclass. And that 5-day parent masterclass, I named it as GPS for Parents, 5-day parent masterclass. At that point, I didn't even have a company name. I just started on bang on with no marketing, nothing, just there. It was only when I had to create my GST account, I had to give a company name. And I could not think of any other name. So I gave it as GPS for Parents. Because whenever parents came in for the parent masterclass, they will not remember my name. They always remembered GPS for Parents. So that became a hook. Second hook was, what is that GPS? So that curiosity, what is GPS? What is GPS? I want to know. That was the second hook for anyone who heard the name GPS for Parents. And that's how my parent masterclass name became my company name. And then obviously my services, my programs further increased beyond the 5-day parent masterclass. But yes, at every step, you have to just think critically and keep moving on in life. Then being adaptable. So within a year, 44 million parents in India underwent my 5-day parent masterclass and other educational services. Having said that, within a year, I became a billionaire. Okay, this bubble I burst within 2-3 months of being into entrepreneurial journey where I realized that this is not a reality. It can be a reality, it will become a reality, but it will take time because the Indian parents, my main target audience, had always this notion that I do not require any help, my child does. So whatever program you are bringing up, bring for my child, not for me. I will not attend. And I was clear that I will focus minimally on children, but majorly on parents. And the second parents, the teachers and the schools, which I consider as parents in a school. So seeing the low interest rate, low attendance in my 5-day parent masterclass, I opened it up for international parents, for parents from other countries. And I started getting more interest for my 5-day parent masterclass and my other educational services. That made me realize that maybe that my services may take some time to reach the parents and the schools in India, but it is well appreciated in a foreign land, in the markets of US, UK, Dubai, Australia. All of these places I have had parents coming in for my parent masterclass, for other educational resources that have been developed by our organization. So a key point is that regardless, when you start off as an entrepreneur, your service, you may think for a particular target audience, but maybe they're not prepared at that point, and you may have to shift your focus and try some other frontiers to get in the target audience. A real story is one of my friend from the South India. She started creating cotton fabric, pure cotton fabric, which is very soft, mainly for children. It didn't work in South India or Indian market because it was a highly premium product, just like my master classes and educational stuff. But it worked in the foreign land. And selling it in the foreign land, the same product, what she was finding it difficult to sell here in India, she started minting crores of money. And it's a real story. And she is a small person who started off very small as an entrepreneur and went on big by changing the locality or the geographical sphere that she was catering to. That was the only change that she had done. So sometimes we have to be adaptable based on what and who our target audience is. And if a product is real good, we know about that. It's good to explore in different markets before shutting it down. Being empathetic is a key for any entrepreneur. Having the heart in the right place, because that drives a lot of our journey and helps us hold strong during this tough time. So for me, my main stakeholder has been students, children. But as I started parent masterclass, I realized that parents are also require that support, the love, the care, and the nurturance, just like a child. Because a parent, if you go to see, they have two role models at this point. One, their own parents who would have given one slap and made them straight. Or the second role model is today's Instagram reels. The influencers who have no knowledge, no scientific knowledge, no knowledge of parenting, and are giving advices just to increase the views. So in this fix, the parent are the greatest sufferers, because when they do those activities with the child bounces back and shows that this is not the right way of doing it. So due to that, I literally, earlier I used to feel, what are parents really doing? Why are they not really taking care of their children? Why are school educators not taking care of students in the school? But when I started doing more of these sessions, it made me realize that along with children, my stakeholders go beyond to parents and teachers as well. And I need to be empathetic towards their need and provide that supportive environment so that then reflection gets on the children. So being empathetic was very crucial. Every entrepreneur has almost zero or minimal resources, money, time, number of people who they work with, and same was with me. And during this time, it is important that the creative juices flow well so that you optimally utilize the resources, be it money, be it any kind of resources, right? So that you are still in the game of entrepreneurship. Then, as a communicator, we have to be an entrepreneur is the face of the company, of their venture. And that face has to speak aloud all the impact they're creating. So we need to practice, we need to speak well, communicate well our thoughts, our vision, the impact that we have created, so that more and more people get influenced, more and more stakeholders come connected, more and more we get more support from the society as well for our entrepreneurial journey. Because remember, if you're creating a product, a service which is innovative in nature, no one will be able to understand it at the start. To be honest, you will not be able to understand yourself what you're planning to do. You just get into it and things become clearer. And that clarity is what we have to start sharing it with our own counterparts, with our colleagues, with stakeholders, investors, and the likes. And most importantly for me, because my family is known for social service, even professional service, people want it free, like advocate uh, advice and everything. So I have to break those barriers that, yes, I am not here to give free service. I do voluntary services, and that is different. My venture is also focusing on profits. So that communication also is required to be very clear, crystal clear and strong, especially for those who come with a background whose families are known to do a lot of social service, or else they will not exist in the world of entrepreneurship. Okay. And finally, it's about employment. As an entrepreneur and even as a business owner, you kind of start giving a lot of employment to other people. Other people's household works on the money that, or the salary that you give, or the commission that you give. For me, at GPS for Parents, even a intern will get a good amount of stipend, because I strongly believe anyone working should get salary in some form or the other, in monetary form. And even an intern should get a stipend. So every intern will get a stipend, plus a recommendation letter, a strong recommendation letter if they've done good work. So strong that wherever they apply, be it a job or for fellowship or scholarship, for sure they will get that particular opportunity. So as an entrepreneur, yes, the focus is on the stakeholders, but the second focus is that whoever is connected with you, your colleagues, interns, everyone, how best can you make life for them as well? So that together we can grow, together we can create that impact. And entrepreneurship is not about being alone. Quite often we are alone in the journey, and that is the most difficult path and a short-lived path, to be honest. So we need to figure out the ways in which we can collectively go together and connect with more and more stakeholders. Now, coming to the point of the B, the second point, building an entrepreneurial mindset. What does it mean? So coming to the point of mindset, it's the attitudes, the beliefs, the habits, thoughts, and whatever it takes when someone comes our way, some issue comes away, some problem comes away. How are we going to respond? What determines that? So that is a mindset that it comes up with. That what mindset do we have, that whenever something is thrown our way, how are we going to respond and act to it? So an entrepreneur have to have mainly three types of mindset. One, the freedom to make mistake. Just like a child, right? Just one child. Do they learn to walk in the first go? Not at all. They'll try to flip their backs, crawl, then touch the toe on the floor, and the final thing is walking. This entire process will take 9 months to 1 year. But every time they're trying, they're falling, they're getting up and going beyond. It's the same with entrepreneurship. That the moment we take risk, we learn. And it might succeed, it might fail. Regardless of that, the question is, what have we learned from the process? What have we learned from the step that we have taken? Generally, for others, for people who are not entrepreneurs, a mistake can be either a big mistake or a small mistake. But for an entrepreneur, a mistake is a big mistake, a bigger one, the biggest one. And there is no way, but we really screw up things by doing a lot of mistakes. But in Hindi, there is a saying called, रिस्क से इश्क करो तो ही सक्सेस मिलेगा. रिस्क से इश्क करो तो ही आपको एक सक्सेस मिलेगा. और वो करना जरूरी है फॉर एन एंटरप्रेन्योर. Second, being self-reflective. Take a pause, reflect on the steps that we take. On every step, regardless we succeeded or failed. Why? When we succeed, we need to know why did we succeed? What was that step? In order to make it more, in order to replicate that particular process. And second, to scale it. Scaling will always happen when you know what successful mantras worked for you and what did not. And obviously, the things that did not, we have to avoid it. No glass ceiling, the third one, which says, yes, I can. Regardless, I know it or no, I will give it a shot. So for me, being a communicator is fine. It's good. But another role, as an entrepreneur is to be a good seller. And I always had this perspective that sellers, those who sell things, the salesperson are chipkus. They will always chipkofy on you to take the product and service. And I'm a core educator. For me, sales comes secondary, tertiary. It doesn't exist. Initial time of my journey, I never sold even a single product. Whoever I will talk to never bought it. People bought from my team members. I did performance marketing. People bought through performance marketing, but people never bought from me. And it made me feel as if I'm not meant for this world. And I knew that the first learning that I had about entrepreneurship is you have to be a good seller. And I knew I sucked in selling, so I will never be a good entrepreneur. But that led me get into another world of understanding what selling is all about. It's not about being chipko, but it's about bringing to light the impact your product or service does for the stakeholder. When my mindset shifted from selling being chipko to selling being creating an impact and showcasing that impact for my stakeholders, I started selling my products as well, my services. And I became more comfortable with the skin of selling as well. So many educators, if there are any educators, they'll know that selling is, for an educator, is the most difficult part per se, but that can be learned as well. So the moment we say, yes, I can do it, and figure out ways to master that particular skill, there is no ceiling. It is a limitless potential that you can showcase through your venture, through entrepreneurship. So it's beautiful thing of getting into it. As I said yes, and I could sell not only the most premium services of mine, be it the homeschool program that I have, which is very novel in the Indian market. Abroad, it's pretty much more known. Or be it child safety sessions, which normally in school, it is free of cost. I would say, obviously, we have a team, a resource that is very powerful, and that comes at a cost. Hence, I was able to also explain that why our child safety sessions, be it for children, parents, or schools, as a particular price point to it. And I was able to even sell that part. So please remember, as an entrepreneur, we need to make mistakes. Because the more we make mistake, the more we grow. Being reflective, taking a time to pause and reflect. And third, saying, yes, I can do it. The third is C, creating value. There is this particular, everyone has heard about Nike, the footwear brand, sports brand, right? The founders, Philip Knight and his coach, Bill Bowerman, they started Nike with a problem. The problem was the shoes that were there at that point was meant for regular runners, for sprinters who will run in smooth tracks. Whereas Philip, who was the founder, was a distance runner. He will run on mucky, rocky roads for miles and miles per se. So for a distance runner, there was no product, no shoes that was comfortable, that was safe for wearing. And Philip and Bill was his coach. So they came together and created a product, only the footwear, only for distance runners. The moment they were able to create the product, source it from the Asian market for a good price, and make the best of athletes wear it, they then started replicating it in the tennis world. They created another set of shoes for the tennis players. They saw even that's working well. Then they went to the third one, which is the basketball players. And we know Air Jordan, which is named after Michael Jordan, how expensive those sneakers are. It goes in thousands and thousands and lakhs of rupees to get a pair of that basketball shoes. So they started with the problem. Second, they taught narrow. First, only for the runners who were distance runners. Second, they went on to the tennis players. Third, they went on to the basketball players. And now they have a plethora of shoes for different sports. And now they're the front leading brand for sports footwear. So while creating value, let's focus on what is the problem instead of creating a product first. Second, think of only one problem that you're going to solve. Once you're successful in that, then try to replicate it for different areas. With that, to be successful in the entrepreneurship world will be much better, much easier. And the resources, be it money, be it time, be it the number of people required, will be much lesser. So with this, I would like to say that, as Graham Weaver said, fear will lead you to a life that's too small. And as an entrepreneur, we are meant to live a life of fulfillment, of happiness, of creating a positive change. And if that's the thing that matters, then remember, the best is yet to come. So hang on to it. And even if then the things are quite messy, I will request you to watch this particular video at that point.
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
And I know that everybody sees it. There in the
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar, I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it, not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you. Let it go and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go it overflows with no credit to take, cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does you just smile cause now you know. I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. Let the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in, we plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow,
When it grows, it grows.
whatever dies will
And when it dies, it dies. Come on.
Works will
If it works, it works.
whatever flies will
Let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will fail.
When it fails, it
What's meant
fails.
to soar will
And
soar.
when it soars, it soars.
I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will
Let it
grow.
grow, let it
Whatever
grow.
dies will
When it
die.
dies, it dies.
Whatever works will
And when it works, it works.
whatever flies
Yeah,
will
let it fly, let it
Whatever
fly.
fails will fail.
fails, it
What's meant
fails.
to soar will soar.
Let it
I
soar.
am
I'm
planting
planting seeds
seeds
and nothing more.
In the entrepreneurship world, everyone is on a different journey. For some, you may hit the gold mine very soon, within a couple of weeks or a year. For many, it will take years to come in. For some, there will be entrepreneurs who will start as young as 14 and 15 years old. There are entrepreneurs who started at the age of 60 and 70 and 80 years. Each to its own journey, but it's ultimately that as an entrepreneur, it's about leaving the mark in the society, a positive change that regardless we are there or not there, our work and the impact will always be felt. And with this, I would like to thank the Dimensions team and everyone being here. And God bless you. God bless your entrepreneurial journey. If you're thinking, please do give it a shot. It's better to try it out, venture into it, instead of feeling remorse that I have never done it. So all the best, and may you positively impact lives of many around you and your stakeholders. Thank you and God bless.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Aziel. And I
That
now
was,
request Mr. Raymond to go to the
yeah.
Q&A session.
Thank you, Aziel. Phenomenal talk. There
Thank you
is, so I would like to begin with how you ended your talk is fear will lead you to a life that is too small. Can you please elaborate on this to our audience?
I'm sorry, I could not hear you.
Fear
No.
will lead you to a life that is too small. That is what you put out.
Right.
Can you
Right.
please elaborate on this?
So I'll share my own experience. As I said, I have worked for almost 10 years before getting into the life of entrepreneurship. I did not venture into it first, even though I knew I have the best of knowledge, the front running knowledge. And because as role models, I have chosen the best of role models in the world of education. But when I used to see the implementation, it would hardly be too few of them, because profits has always been the key motto of wherever I worked. But the moment I shifted on to the world of entrepreneurship over here, I took that risk, and it's pretty risky because your money goes dry. People do not understand what you're doing. They may think that you are doing nothing. There is nothing coming out of it. For the first stone to unturn, it takes a huge amount of time and effort per se, a lot of follow-up, right? So that risk is important. But the moment that risk takes place, now at this point, I realized that if I would have not taken this risk, I would have not got into the international market and international educators frontier. If you see Indian education system, most of the learning earlier during when we had the universities and everything, people will come from abroad to learn from us. But after the British Empire and so, the Indians went abroad to learn, and the foreign people from the UK, US were our gurus. But when I started off with the entrepreneurial journey and when educators over there started implementing what I created, I realized that yes, I can create a mark in the international ground as well. So it doesn't matter where you begin and who you want to cater. If the things are good and you are able to take that risk and venture out, you'll realize that the value that you're providing can cater and benefit a bigger audience than what you are currently doing. And
Got
that
that.
risk is important.
Got it. Aziel, one more question. See, our community is service oriented, job oriented. Jobs are getting scarce, people are getting displaced out of employment, and they're struggling with this transition of starting by themselves, and they keep going around in circles. Can you share, help them to how to get out of that vicious circle and set their trajectory?
Great question. So yes, jobs are getting fewer. However, if you are still working and you lose your job, I have lost my job as well due to the market. So I know how it feels. But if you have relevant skill set, you can get job anytime. And if, see, ultimately it's your calling. You know, people are happy doing jobs. And I know many people who are happier doing job and do not want to get into the entrepreneurial world. Okay. So it's about your own calling, what you are meant for. If job is your calling, just learn new skill sets that can help you to be adaptable. So having entrepreneurial mindset, even in a job, is important. You are an entrepreneur or no, having that entrepreneurial mindset is important so that you can keep skilling yourself. Okay. First is that. Second, before getting into the entrepreneurial world, I would certainly recommend, if you have bills to pay, that along with the job, do some entrepreneurial part. Let not your entrepreneurial journey be complete, the whole. Initially, begin with along with your job, doing something side by side. So for example, if you want to do something, say, for climate change, and you want to create some product that will help in the climate, that will mitigate the climate change, right? So you can create bioenzymes at home. That will take hardly any resource, hardly any time per se, or any other products, right? So your job is ongoing. You know, your bills can be paid off, and simultaneously you can work out something in the entrepreneurial world and see if that is working or no. If you have the issues of bills to be paid, then I will say hold on for some time before jumping into the entrepreneurial world. Because for majority of the entrepreneurs, it will take minimum 3 to 4 years to see some return or the money coming in. Even till date, whatever money I earn goes back into my entrepreneurship, my venture. I hardly have done any shopping or done any per se. Everything goes back. Okay. And if you have bills to pay, if you're the only sole earning member, I will say hold on to your job till the time your job and the money that comes from your entrepreneurial journey is not equal or equivalent. Because as an entrepreneur, you'll have to spend more money on marketing, on creating the product, and getting employing people under you, right? So there are a lot of expense. So you'll see Like initial period for me, I was so used to seeing money coming into my bank. The moment I stopped working and I had taken that switch, I had stopped working and I got completely into the entrepreneurial world because I felt this is it. I cannot continue with working for someone and not doing good justice for my stakeholders. And I wanted that switch. I knew that I have money sufficient enough to survive 3-4 years without taking any investment or something as well, right? But that pain is very it haunts you when you see the bank balance going down, 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 and the money getting pulled out from there, right? So there is no income coming in, and the income that you have is moving out, and that's very painful to bear. Yeah, so I will suggest hold on, get your money sufficiently there, or get a good investor, and then start off over there.
Aziel,
But coming just to add on, today's time is the best time for being an entrepreneur. You need not have a office. I right now have my virtual office. This is my office. Wherever I go, be it here, be it Andamans, be it any part of the world, it's my virtual office. Because most of my trainings are online. Most of my educational services are online. If it's physical, it is in their people's venue. So if it's physical, if I have to train teachers, I go to their school to do the training. Okay. And there are many other ways in which you can make it better for yourself as an entrepreneur as well. Today is the best time for being an entrepreneur.
Aziel, one more observation about our community is that we are very good at delivering value, but we are not able to differentiate or create commercial value. Can you elaborate on how we can make this transition from delivering value to actually designing and delivering our commercial value proposition?
I'll again share what did I do, right? Because as you rightly said, as a community, as a Christian community, we are more into creating value. And my family is entirely about value, value, value. Forget about the commercials. It doesn't matter, right? But to survive as an entrepreneur and to go to the masses and create and go reach to lakhs and millions of people, like in India itself, there are almost 44 million parents. So if I have to reach, I have to ensure that there is money coming in, right? So I would attend less of business meets and activities of the Christian community, to be honest.
Okay.
I started attending more of the Marwadis and Gujjus and start understanding how are they selling. They are the best sellers. So anyone that you think is a good seller is able to communicate and get money from their products or services, take training under them, learn from them, because they're good. It is, you need not be under one person for training. You can choose who you want your mentors to be and choose very specifically the best of best in that field and pay a little extra, but get that training. You will learn the entire system, the process, and if it is working for them, most likely, if you follow similar process, it will start working for you as well. So I have moved out, started attending sessions and events and meetings of Gujus and Marwadis who do a lot of selling.
Got that. This question now is about mindset. Slow. This word is embedded in our mind. Whatever you do it slowly. Can you please respond to this?
I am personally, I vouch for being slow, to be honest. And I'll tell you why. I will not want, like, however happy we are as a parent, we will not want our child to come out in the first month. We will wait till 9 months. So when I say slow, giving the required time for it to mature and to grow and not to expect overnight that, yes, I will get it, right? Because the easier you get it, the more difficulties will come in. For example, if there is a premature child, there will be certain difficulties that the child will face to survive. Yes or no? Like,
Absolutely.
given, right? You want that child to be 9 months old, before they come out to the actual world. In the same way as entrepreneurship, uh, it's good to go slow. At a point, it is matured at a level of maturity. If it is very slow, then there are special needs that come up. So too fast or too slow is not a good funda. Being appropriate, understanding, okay, this is the rate at which we can go, and also studying the market, studying your competitors or people who are doing similar things. If it's a new thing, at least similar things that you are doing, how much time have they taken? What processes they have followed will be a good thing to start learning from. I have been doing it. I have sheets and sheets of my studies of my counterparts in the market for very reason, for very things, especially for teacher training. There are a lot of teacher trainers, right? Fortunately for me, I maintained a good amount of my relationships while I was working. So my 50% of the income still comes from my mentors giving me work. So it means that I have a steady income from that end. Second, it also means that my quality is good enough that they can vouch on me, right? Mentors mean seniors in the field, the best experts. If they are giving me job, that means I'm doing remarkably good work to be believed, right? So having that kind of a setup also can help.
Another observation of our community is we are DIY specialists. So how can we get out of getting it done through competent others?
We literally believe in keeping all the cash to ourselves. Then we do not even trust others. We have major issue with trust factors, right? How can I trust my company's marketing? I'll do it. I can do it by myself. I also did it. I attended a lot of performance marketing sessions and everything to do it by myself for a different business. Before even getting into GPS for parents, I had started a drop shipping business, but I didn't continue with it because I didn't find it fulfilling for myself, because I am core as an educator. So I want something that aligns to my work. But at that point, I realized that doing everything by myself is not the right thing. I'm rather jack of all trades and making my own venture miserable in the process. And I am delaying my own venture growth as well. The more faster I get into the market, the more competent people I get, the more faster I get into the market, and I can capture a bigger market size as compared to what I'll do all by myself. So it is up to us. What do we want? We want to be whole and soul.
Where this one?
Or do we want to go and capture a bigger market size? Because bigger market size will mean impact. Plus,
one second, sir. Can you please mute your mic if you are not speaking?
Plus bigger impact size, plus bigger money coming in, because you're catering to more people, right? More people will be paying you for your service. So be ready to give money in order to be able to receive money. You can't receive money without giving the money.
Another point linked to the same is pricing. We are afraid to raise price. So, twin question, how do you discover and know what is the right price for your product or service? And how are you able to raise price? Dealing with the fear within.
Okay. So big companies have a different department who does only pricing. Okay. And we as entrepreneurs, mainly sole entrepreneurs or with the smaller ventures, we cannot afford people to do only pricing for us, right? For me, when I started my first Friday Parent Masterclass, I did not have a name in the market, to be honest, because my name was always associated with the organization that I worked for. I would always do brand building for them. I never did brand building for myself. And that is secondly, that is another point. Start doing brand building for yourself as well if you're working and thinking of doing entrepreneurship. At that point, with no brand building, nothing of it, I still charged 199 rupees at the start for my parent masterclass. It was not at all free of cost. Normally people give free of cost. I never gave it free of cost. I charged minimal 199 for a 5-day parent masterclass. From there, within a month, I realized that people are coming in and are finding it worth. And my parent masterclasses are very personalized. So there are different programs. The parent masterclass requires a lot of personalization, where I give a lot of time to with my parents. Then I have another program which is self-paced that doesn't require my time. It's where the parents learn by themselves through the modules that I create. The parent masterclass from 199, I moved to 499. I still had the same number of parents coming in. From 499, I moved to 999, 900 and 999. Within 2-3 months, I continued having the same number of parents, different set, but same count. From 999, I right now have it at 1,499. I still get the similar number of count of parents joining in. So money pricing, you can start off with minimal, but keep increasing and see if people are still opting you for the service that you're providing. But it has to be a valuable service, something very niche to your, and that can really solve a problem. Then people are ready to pay. People are ready to pay for the solution that you can provide.
Mr. Raymond, we are running
The
out of time.
faster solution, the more you can charge.
Thank you, Aziel, for this amazing session. Just want to take a quick feedback from our participants. So, participants, what is the biggest takeaway you have taken from today's session? One line each, quickly. You can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and speak.
Don't stop taking a risk.
Great, Roy. Quickly.
Hi, I'm a huge fan of Aziel, and I thought I'd share what I created based on the session. Yeah, I hope everyone can see it.
Great.
Thank you, Aziel. This was very important and well-timed, especially for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Kritika. Others, what's your biggest takeaway today? Unmute yourself and speak.
One is that like Chipko, but you give value. But Chipko, then you'll get value.
Got that. Great. John Raj.
Raymond, having a mindset.
Learning from these Kujus Marwadis, yes, really, it's a practical aspect and one has to learn a lot from them. Thank you.
Got that, John. Sebastian, any takeaways? Samantha, Eustace.
Raymond, having a mindset, and one of the things I don't like to ask is my payments, and I fault on that.
Got that. Yes. Gracie, Merlin, DF, any takeaways?
Slow
Others?
is slow.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Go slowly, but go steadily forward.
You should be ready for the risk for success.
Got that. Got that. Okay, Melvin. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond. Thank you, Aziel. And I now request Mr. Vincent to do the vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you, Aziel, for a wonderful session today. For the amount of time that you had at your disposal, I think you gave us some wonderful thoughts and ideas. Aziel started by a beautiful difference between the business owner and the entrepreneur, the importance of assessing oneself, and that is the crux of the success factor. You have to do a little bit of research in terms of who is an entrepreneur, what does an entrepreneur do, what is the life of an entrepreneur, what are the steps that you need to take in order to be successful. She also talked about some of the important qualities and traits that we need to have. The importance of being a change maker, the importance of determination, problem solving, critical thinking, being adaptable, empathetic, very communicative, creative, and most importantly, taking responsibility for the employment of people that you have in your business. The B was very important, the importance of building a mindset, which includes your freedom to make mistakes, being very self-reflective, and most importantly, the belief that you need to have that, yes, I can, and I can make an impact through the products and the services that I provide. Last of all, she talked about creating value, where she gave us the beautiful example of Nike, problem first, and product later. Think narrow and then go broad. She gave us the example of how Nike focused on the runners, then the tennis players, then the basketball players. And she reminded us that we should always take hope that the best of us is yet to come. Thank you, Aziel, for a wonderful morning spent with you. And I'm sure a lot of us will go away very enriched about the spirit of entrepreneurship that we try to promote on our Dimensions Global platform. God bless. Thank you all for joining us for the session today. Thank you, Melvin, for coordinating this entire event. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.
And over to Sunil for the closing prayer.
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts. Thank you for the time we have spent together in the session. We thank you for the wisdom and insight shared today. And we especially lift up Aziel, who took the time to lead us and enrich our minds with such a wonderful knowledge. Lord, we ask that you bless Aziel in abundance for her generosity and dedication, and may the seeds of knowledge planted today grow and bear fruit in all our lives. As we conclude this session, we ask for your protection and blessings over each one of us on our separate ways. Grant us peace, wisdom, and the strength to apply that we have learned for the betterment of ourselves and our communities. In your holy name, we pray all together. All together say, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst men, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and the hour of our death. Father, and the Son of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aziel. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Thank you, everybody, for coming, for joining in, and have a nice Saturday and have a nice weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aziel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aziel.